Alright, we're on page 253 here, or bottom of page 252 maybe. What did I do with my marker? There it is. Alright, bottom of page 253 here. So identify direct proportion from an equation. So if they have y over x, that gives you your k value. We talked about that yesterday. We'll jump right into page 253 on the top. So A, it tells you 1/2 y equals 3x. So basically what you're trying to do here is get this, you want the k value. They're saying find k, and it's not, you're not just supposed to do this, like draw an arrow and say, here it is. That doesn't work. That's not finding k. I've seen it on t-shirts and stuff, it's funny, but that's not what they're saying. They're not saying try to find k that way. They want you to get y over k. So you need to get y over k. So if I look at this problem right here, I'm gonna move it over here so I can see it a little bit better. Alright, if I'm looking at this problem, if I'm trying to get y over k, because that's a big thing I always want to remember, trying to get y over k. Well, first of all, I want y by itself, so I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. So I got y equals 6x. Now I want y, did I say y over k? I meant y over x. I said y over x, I just misspoke. Y over x, the next thing I have to do is divide by what on both sides? If I just want y over x.
6.
Nope, because I want y over x. I want x on the bottom over here. Then I have to divide by x. That gets rid of x, because x over x is 1. And now you have y over x equals what?
6.
Boom, that's your k value. So you can just say 6 is k and be done. So it's really simple problems. It's just always remembering, hey, when I go back, I want to have y over x equals k. If I can get y over x, and sometimes you might look at it and you're like, hey, that says 1/2. What do I do with that half? Well, just get rid of the half then. Get the half over to the other side. If it said 2, I would say the same thing. Get the 2 over to the other side. Divide by 2. Then you have 3 over 1/2. You can still divide by x over that. You'll still have 3 halves left at the end. It's whatever you have left when you get rid of those things on that side. B, they have y minus 2 equals 5x. So again, I want y by itself over on this side. So I add 2, y equals 5x plus 2. What do I do to get x over on this side? Divide by x? Here's the thing though. There's no x here. If there was an x here, then I could add them together and get rid of it. But right now, as it stands, I can't divide by x because both of these need to have x in common. So if that's the case, what does it mean? Think back to yesterday. The constant of proportionality. Sometimes it was 6. It would be like, if it was like 6 for the first one, 6 for the second one, 7 for the third one, then you would say what? There is no... Yeah, there is no direct proportion. So if there's no direct proportion, there's no constant of proportionality. So no constant of proportionality. I'll just say no cop. No constant of proportionality, or no k value. Because you can't solve that. There's nothing here. If you had this was like, if this was x, then you could say, hey, I've got 7x, and then I'm going to divide by x on both sides. But you can't divide 5x plus 2, you can't divide by x and get rid of it. It only cancels with the x. It doesn't have anything to cancel with the 2. So, guided practice, numbers 3 and 4, we're going to, you can do those at home and then check see if they answer and then come back to us. back here we're gonna go back over to page 254. So it says recognize that a constant of proportionality can be used as a unit rate. So specifically there they talk about, hey, there's something might cost $2 per pound. So if we look at example 3, it's on the bottom of page 254. Cans, so it's like the number of cans, that's X, and then Y, and that is the price. So it's the price per can. So if I've got 1 can, 2 cans, 3 cans, 2 cans, we are talking about like the number of 2 cans, not the bird. Just don't get confused there. So then we have 1.6, 3.2, 4.8. So you're again going to want to try to find that constant of proportionality. Remember, y over x. And every time you do here, 1.6 over 1, you're getting 1.6. 3.2 over 2, guess what? You're still getting 1.6. 4.8 over 3, guess what? You're still getting 1.6. So here's a constant of proportionality where it's actually being used as a unit price for something. But remember when they had this as P, sorry, that's why I'm confused. They had this as P, not as X. But remember, sorry, P, not Y, but remember that here, whatever the bottom one is, you're always taking the bottom one over the top to find that constant of proportionality. So the final thing then is getting that as, remember, you want it as y equals kx. Well, the x value we know is x. The k value we know is 1.6, and the y value is p. So it's p equals 1.6x. That's what your actual equation looks like for that one. At home, you guys can do data practice 5, and then we're going to do move on to example 4 here. So you got Alina's buying some baseball caps. Each cap costs $8, so it's $8 per cap. The amount that she pays for the cap is directly proportional to the number of caps that she buys. Write an equation to represent the direct proportion. So this is where you have to look at the words and say, how do I put those into numbers or letters or variables and stuff like that. The amount, so there's 2 things. It says the amount she pays for each cap, so amount paid is directly proportional to the number of caps she buys. Number of caps bought. Sorry, I was supposed to say bought. The amount she pays is directly proportional to the number she buys. So if you're turning this into y equals kx, you might have heard me saying this to one of the other classes, or maybe you remember it, but anytime it says the amount, the blank is directly proportional to something else, whatever the first thing they say is, that's this. So this is amount paid. Amount of money is directly proportional to the caps bought. This is the caps bought. You're going to want to remember that. Write that down, whatever you need to. But whatever they say, the amount paid, or whatever they list first, the amount paid is directly proportional to caps bought. So amount paid is going to be that y value. That means, remember, y is on bottom, x is on top. That means whatever they list first actually is going to go on bottom. So paid, and this is caps. So I think about it, hey, if there's 1 cap, it's $8. If there's 2 caps, $16. Should make sense if you put it that way. Now you kind of have to logic your way through that, but that's why I'm trying to hit home on that. Whatever they say, amount paid is directly proportional. Is directly proportional. Amount paid is directly proportional to the caps bought. Amount paid is directly proportional, that's an equal sign to caps bought. So y on the bottom, x on top. They said write a equation that represents the direct proportion. Well, we already did all the work. Y equals blank x. What's the constant of proportionality? Y over X, Y over X, Y over X. What's the constant of proportionality? What? 8 over 1, or just 8. Now, there's all the long work, but basically you could have said, hey, y equals blank x. What's the k value? And you could have figured that out from looking at it right away, because it said each cap costs $8. More often than not, you don't even need to do all that extra work. You can just say, hey, y equals blank x, because I know I'm looking for my equation. And what's that constant of proportionality? Well, each cap costs $8. $8 per cap. Of course, that's what your constant of proportionality is going to be. All right, and then there's got to practice 6 for that. You can do that at home. And example 5 we're doing here says y is directly proportional to x. So y is directly proportional to x. I always just write down, well, we're going to say that's y is directly proportional to x. So that means that we just need that k value. Y equals 3 and x equals 9. Find the constant of proportionality. We always know to find constant of proportionality, you take what over what? Y over x. Y over x. 3 over 9 simplifies to 1 over 3. Can you have a fraction as a constant of proportionality? Yeah, of course you can. If I said that you were selling each baseball cap instead of for $8, you're selling it for 1/3 of a dollar, then the constant of proportionality would be 1/3 in that case. So y equals 1/3 x, that's what those look like. You can do guided practice 7 and 8 at home. You guys can finally start your guided practice here in class, and then I'll give you guys the assignment when you're done.